Alright, welcome back to Vloggity. Today is December 22nd, 2012. It's a Sunday. And trying to think of anything different than the last time. I've been keeping up with the American Sign Language, studying from lifeprint.com. They have about 30 free lessons there. Go through vocabulary and a lot of extra information from Bill Vickers, the guy that actually put the site together. And I see a shadow from the light on the other side. Okay, so last night, well, not last night, the night before, there was a pretty good size ice storm, and I was at work when all that happened. When I came out to my vehicle the next morning, yesterday morning now, the 21st, my doors were frozen shut because the ice was so thick and covered the entire van. I drove my wife's van to work because my car is probably less, I don't know, that doesn't sound right. My car doesn't handle as well in that kind of weather. Of course, there was ice all over the roads and everything, and no vehicle really handles very well on ice. Luckily, the highways were pretty good, but the security vehicle for the hospital was going around helping people get into their vehicles, and they had stopped and asked me if I needed help getting into my van. But right as they asked me that, I tugged on the door one more time and it popped open. So it probably took about half an hour to get the ice chiseled off of my windshield in the windows, and the van all heated up and melting all of the ice before I could actually leave to go home. So it was probably 9-something when I got home in the morning. So that was a nice long day. It was freezing cold out there, and I couldn't feel my hands. They were all white and red and hurting just from being out in the freezing cold. And of course, they said it was only about 30 degrees out, but the wind chill made it feel like it was below zero. At least to me, anyways. So here I am. I was off last night. But we spent some time out at the in-laws. We were actually out there until like 10:30 last night, and my wife and I were kind of caught up with her dad on watching a show called, what was it, Storage Wars. You might have heard of it, where they, it's on A&E, I believe, and they go to these shipping containers and they auction off all they can do. They can look inside of these storage containers that have been just abandoned by people, so they open up the locks and they look in there, see what they can see. They can't go in, they can't touch anything. They get 5 minutes to look at it, and then everybody that wants to bids back and forth on it, and then they show them going through afterwards. Sometimes it's just bunches of boxes and bags and some furniture and stuff like that. Sometimes they find some really valuable antiques in there, or jewelry and things like that. It was pretty interesting. My wife got really hooked on it. And I watched a couple episodes of it, and then I started reading An Abundance of Catherines by John Green. So it's a good show, and I can watch a couple episodes of it. I could probably watch quite a few of them. But I have goals set for myself also. I want to get through this book, Abundance of Catherines, and Abundance of Catherines by John Green, before I will let myself begin starting to read The Fault in Our Stars, his newest book that just came out on the 10th of January. Of course, I have the audio book. Once I read the hardcover, actual physical book that I got of John Green's, it's signed. I showed you the J Scribble, I think last time. And then, once I'm finished reading that, then I will listen to the audio book, because I have about 35-minute drive to and from work. So, that's a little over an hour each time I work that I'd be able to listen to some more of his book. So, there's that. This has gone over 4 minutes already. Alright, so a lot of people have heard about Mitt Romney in South Carolina. He didn't win that one. And I was reading on, I think, USA Today, the little app that I have on my phone that I use quite often. A lot of controversy has been surrounding the amount of money that he has. I guess he is, I think they said, the wealthiest candidate that's run for president, something like that. But then people are kind of looking down their nose at him because he hasn't released his tax returns and all this other stuff, and because he's paid so much money into the Mormon church in tithing and fast offering and all that. Of course, a tithe is 1/10 of your gross income. So, if you make a lot of money, that's going to be a lot paid in. Plus, you're supposed to give an offering, a fast offering, on the day that you fast, usually the first Sunday of every month. And for 2 meals, you don't eat 2 consecutive meals like breakfast and lunch, then you can eat dinner again. But for the money that you would have spent on food for those 2 meals, you're supposed to give that money, give a generous fast offering. Like if you were going to eat dinner with Jesus, would you take him to McDonald's or would you take him to Red Lobster? So you give a generous fast offering and add that on once a month. So, he's given a lot to the church, and he's got a lot of, I guess, skepticism about that, and where he hasn't released all his tax information and everything else. To me, that's kind of personal. I know it's a whole political thing, and their entire lives are thrown out into the spotlight, and everyone's got to analyze it and pick them to pieces for it and call him bad things and whatever. And because he's Mormon and people don't understand the Mormon religion, they call it a cult, which actually a cult, the definition of a cult, I can't remember verbatim, but is basically any group that has the same, ideals and goals and things like that. So basically, every religion is a cult, and other things are cults and groups with the same ideals and same goals and things like that. They're cults, technically. So I don't know what everyone's really all up in arms about, but I know a little bit about the Mormon religion, so I can speak to that. People talk about the whole Joseph Smith thing, which Mormons do not worship Joseph Smith. They do not pray to Joseph Smith. I'm saying they. I should say we, because yes, I am a Mormon. I do have a channel called Mormonology here on YouTube, which I haven't really done much with, but I plan on changing that. It's going to be, kind of a vloggy type thing, Mormonology, so kind of like the study of Mormons. So I'm going to be basically talking about how I am not perfect, and I am working on that, and giving some factual information about Mormons and all that. I'm sure there are going to be some people, have to correct myself grammatically, that will shoot me down and try to make fun of me and try to get mad at me and try to get me mad at them and put comments and all that sort of stuff that are derogatory and whatnot. I just have to overlook those because people don't understand, even though they think they do, but you have to go to the source and read that information in order to really understand it. But then, good people, people that are good in nature, aren't going to tear other people down. They would just keep it to themselves and just be like, that's their choice. They have that right. Let them go on, and we'll do our own thing. Alright, that's enough for now. This video's got over 8 minutes, so it's going to take forever to upload. So I'm going to let you all go if you want to check it out. Mormonology on YouTube. I will put something up for that here, soon. Just like for my other channel, The Bjorn Theory. I'll put something up for that as well. It's just getting, on my days off, getting the time to put something together. You probably hear my kids yelling in the background. I gotta go. We're getting ready to have dinner. I will talk to you all tomorrow.